It's Dave Lopez live outside the men's central jail where the suspect is behind bars. Dave?
And at least for now, Juan, time is on the side of the investigators because that suspect, Anthony Rouda, was transferred from the sheriff's substation in Calabasas down to downtown Los Angeles. He was supposed to make a court appearance today on his probation violation charge, but that was postponed. However, lab work inside those labs on whether or not the bullets match, that continues almost round the clock. The rifle that Anthony Rouda had when he was arrested by sheriff deputies in the hills above Malibu Creek State Park is being tested for ballistics. According to sources, some of those tests have been completed, but we are also told that, quote, more is yet to be done. The biggest question to be answered: does the bullet that killed Tristan Baudet, who was camping last June with his two daughters by his side when he was shot in the head from long range, did the bullet that killed him come from the same rifle that was with Rouda when he was arrested? There have been other shootings in and around Malibu Creek, non-fatal. And we are told that the lab is testing bullets from two of those shootings that damaged cars. The bullets are damaged, but tests are being conducted to see if those bullets also came from the rifle that was being carried by Rouda when he was arrested. Detectives still insist on hiding Rouda's face to protect the case, they said. He has not been charged with anything yet, but is being held with no bail in men's central jail. He was transferred there this morning at 10 o'clock. Rouda has an extensive criminal record that dates back 13 years. He was also on probation, and part of that probation said he could not carry a weapon. When he was arrested, he had a rifle. That's why he's being held on no bail. He was supposed to make an appearance in front of a judge today about that probation violation, but I was told he did not get medical clearance in time, something that's mandated for all inmates. So that court appearance was delayed until sometime next week. And the fact that he's on a no bail hold has given investigators in this case a very big break. By law, once a person is arrested, you have 72 hours to either file charges or release that person. Because of the probation violation, that time frame is eliminated. I was told that it will take about 2 weeks before Rouda has a full hearing on his probation violation. And if he's found that he did violate probation, he'll be sent back to state prison, giving detectives even more time. As I was told, as you're looking at the men's jail, as I was told by one investigator in this case, Rouda is going nowhere. So again, time is on their side. Rouda's father was tracked down by our Tom Waite late yesterday, and he was asked when was the last time he saw his son. He said it's been a while. He said he's tried to help his son, and then he was asked how long has he lived out in the wilderness in Malibu. He said anywhere from 15 to the last 20 years. Reporting live from downtown Los Angeles, Dave Lopez, KCAL 9 News.